minus 3 multiplied minus 6.
Okay.
So first we will multiply minus 3 and minus 6.
Okay. All right. Then.
That is going to be positive 18.
Okay. Then.
And then we will multiply positive 18 and 9. That will be positive 162.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, that's correct.
The second question I didn't do, but I just understood it, so I will just do it right now. And then.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
I will open when I will tell you when I'm done.
Sure. Hiba, your voice was breaking. Can you repeat that? The next question was?
Yeah. Minus 3 multiplied minus 6 multiplied minus 2 multiplied minus 1.
Minus 2.
Yeah, multiplied minus 1.
Okay, now?
First, we will multiply minus 3 and minus 6. That is going to be positive 18. Then we will multiply minus 2 and minus 1. That is going to be positive 2. And then we will multiply positive 18 and positive 2. And the answer will be positive 36.
Very good. Okay. Hiba, I'll just give you one more question right now. That is negative 4 multiplied by 2 multiplied by negative 3 multiplied by let's say 3. Okay. Or okay, not 3, maybe let's just say 5. Now, can you tell me how to do this?
First, we will multiply minus 4 and minus 3.
Okay. So, Hiba, let me tell you something. You don't always have to multiply negative and negative together. I mean, you can do that as well. Or what you can do is you can just multiply these two together. So what I'm guessing the concept that you have in mind is that we have to multiply, if you know two things that are of the positive sign, let us multiply those first, and then we will multiply it with the whatever is remaining. That's what you're thinking, right? Yeah. So that is not wrong. It's completely right. It's giving you the right answer, but you don't always have to do it that way. There are other ways to do it. Like if you multiply, let's say if I take this, okay, I'm going to take this as an example itself. So over here, if you multiplied 9 and minus 3 first, okay, if you multiply 9 and minus 3 first, that becomes negative 27, okay, and then multiplied with negative 6. And then again, your answer will come out to be 162 only. Okay, so no matter how you multiply it, whether you multiply these two first, or whether you multiply these two first, or if you multiply this and this negative 4 and then 5, you multiply those two first, it is always going to give you the same answer. Because of which property, can you tell me? Which property of multiplication? The commutative property. Hiba, can you tell me what does the commutative property say? Okay, what is the commutative property in addition? I remember you told me last time, you know this concept, I know it. Yeah, tell me.
I don't remember.
Okay, you don't remember. So I'll just write something. I'll write a few sentences and you have to guess which of these is which property. Okay. So the first property I'm writing, it is like this. 2 plus 3 multiplied by 4, or you know what, let me just erase this. 2 minus 3 multiplied by 4 plus 6 is equal to 2 minus 3 multiplied by 4 minus 3 multiplied by 6. Okay, this is one option. So this is also one property, but I'm not going to tell you which property. You have to tell me out of all of these options, which of these is commutative property. Okay, and I know you will guess it very well. So the next one is, let's say, minus 3 plus 2 plus minus 6 is equal to minus, is equal to 2 minus 6 minus 3. Okay, and one more property, let's say 4 multiplied by negative 3 is equal to negative 3 multiplied by 4. And then another property is, yeah, 5 multiplied by 4. Oh, I'm sorry, not this. 520 plus 0 is equal to 520. Now tell me, which of these is a commutative property? Hmm?
The second one.
Okay, the second one. Is there any other commutative property in here?
No.
No? Okay. So, Hiba, you are right. The second one is called the commutative property in addition. Why? Because we are having, we are adding them,
The first one
right? So
is
here also there's an invisible
the
plus
first.
sign.
The first one is also the commutative property of subtraction.
No. What is the first one? Can you see that? Okay, Hiba, see over here there are brackets, right? So what is the bracket? Everywhere you have brackets. What's the difference? What is the unique thing about the brackets in this example? That over here you have one number and then you have a bracket. Inside the bracket you are having two different integers. Okay, and what you are doing is you are opening that bracket and distributing this outside wala integer. Okay, the integer that is standing outside, actually that integer is this negative 3. The integer that is standing outside the bracket, you are distributing it over the two integers that are inside the bracket, right? So this is known as which property? Now can you tell me? I just used a hint in what I said.
Distributive property.
Yes, very good. So this is distributive property. Okay. Now you're right. The second one is commutative property, but it is a commutative property in addition because we are adding all of the integers. Can you tell me if there is any commutative property in multiplication over here? That means there's a, huh, tell me.
No.
No, there isn't. Okay, what is commutative property, Eva? What do you understand by that?
Like changing the orders and
Yes, exactly. You're doing nothing except you're just changing the order. So it doesn't so Hiba, if I say Hiba, what is let's say what is 2 multiplied by 8? What is, if when we say the times tables, we say 2 8s are, what is 2 8s are?
16.
Yeah, just a second. Give me. Yeah. So 2 8s are 16. And then, so you read the table of 2. You say 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4, 2 3s are 6. Okay, and so on. And then you reach till 2 7s are 14, 2 8s are 16. Okay, so this is that. 2 8s are 16. Now you start reading the table of 2. I'm sorry, the table of 8. Start reading.
Table of 8 or table of 2?
Yeah. So 8. So when you're reading the table of 8, you get this 8 to the 16. So whether you say 2 multiplied by 8 or you say 8 multiplied by 2, they are both equal, right? So what I'm going to say is I'm going to say 2 multiplied by 8 is equal to 8 multiplied by 2, right? So this is known as the commutative property. What does that mean? What is the meaning of commute? Have you ever heard this word? Commute.
No.
Ever heard of it? No?
No.
Okay. So we sometimes say I commute to and from my office or to and from my school through a bus or through car. Okay, so commute basically means that to go from one place to another place. Okay, that is what commute means, and usually it is used in the sense that you also come back from that place. Okay, that is what the meaning of commute is. So when we are saying commutative property, it means that whether you go this way or that way, the value of it is going to be the same. You know, just like you say the distance, let's say this is your home and this is your school. Okay, you say that whether you say the distance between my home or you say the distance from my home to my school is this. Okay, so is it going to be the same as the distance from your school to your home?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So that is what we are saying when we mean that the order is not going to change the value of it. Okay, so this commutative property, this applies when we are adding two things, right? So it applies in addition and it applies in multiplication. All right, is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so now can you tell me among these four, so the second one is commutative property, you're right. Can you tell me another one which is commutative property?
Third one of multiplication.
Yes, excellent, mashallah, very good. So now you've understood what is commutative property. So now can you tell me that in this question, this one, just a minute. Yeah, this one, the one in the green. So can you tell me whether we can, multiply anything with anything, or should there be a particular rule? You can just multiply these two, right? We can multiply any of these. So yeah, now can you tell me how to multiply it?
4 minus 4 multiplied 2. That is going to be minus
Your
8.
voice is breaking. Yeah, okay. Minus 8 multiplied by
Minus 15.
minus 15. Very good. Okay, Hiba, let me just give you a short trick. All right, this isn't wrong. This is absolutely right. But here's a short trick. So if you have addition or multiplication or division, anything where you can find a 10 being formed, okay, whether you add two things and it gives you 10 or it gives you 0, or you multiply two things and it gives you 10 or 0, okay, then always go for that. So can you tell me, in these four numbers, in these four integers, what is the combination that will give us 10?
2 and 5.
Yeah, very good. So 2 and 5. So shall we multiply 2 and 5 first?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's multiply 2 and 5 first. What does it give us? 10. And then what's remaining?
Positive 12.
Positive 12. So then the answer is 120. Okay, so this just makes the calculation easier. You don't have to do lengthy calculations. You'll sit and calculate what is 15 and 8 multiplied. So yeah, that just makes it easier when you have, when you're multiplying two things and it gives you either 10 or 20 or something like that. So it just makes things easier. All right. The next question in your worksheet, I'm sorry, in your homework that you, any question that you're having doubt in?
Yeah.
Okay, go
Third
ahead.
question. 625 multiplied negative 35 plus minus 625 multiplied 65.
Is this the question? And the question says use some suitable property?
Yeah.
Okay. Hiba, tell me what is 2 multiplied by negative 3?
Negative 6.
Okay, just a minute. I'll just draw this a little bigger. Okay. So 2 multiplied by negative and 3. So you said the answer is positive, I'm sorry, negative 6, right?
Yeah.
Now, Hiba, what if I interchange them? What if I say, what is 3 multiplied by negative 2? What is 3 multiplied by negative 2?
Minus 16. Minus 6.
Minus 6. So do you see that this isn't commutative property, okay? Why? Because 2 and negative 3 are one pair of integers, 3 and negative 2 are a different pair of integers. So it's not commutative because negative 3 and 3 are different. So this isn't a property as such, but what it is is that we can say that this negative sign, right? We can change the position of this negative sign and we can move it. Just a minute. I'm sorry. We can change the position of this negative sign and we can move it. Okay. So we can move it over here and the answer will still be the same. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So Hiba, we can only do this in multiplication. Why? Because let me just show you how this is possible. So basically what happens is, let's just say I have something. Okay, let me give you one more example of this sort and tell me whether it is equal or not. Okay, so I have 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by negative 1. Okay, now tell me what is the answer for this.
Minus 6.
Yes, minus 6. So Hiba, here is a concept that we use a lot in math, and the concept is that if you have, you can, in multiplication, you can put a positive 1 or negative 1 wherever required. Okay. Basically you can put a positive 1, and if you have a negative sign, what you can do is you can take the sign and say, well, this sign is nothing but a negative 1, so we can say that there's a 1 hiding somewhere over here. Okay, so there's a negative 1, sorry, not negative 1, there's a 1 hiding over here. Okay, it's an invisible 1. Why? Because 1 is known as the multiplicative identity. Have you ever heard of this term?
No.
No? Okay, so it's there in your chapter. Okay, under the heading, it's under the heading properties of multiplication, properties of integers under multiplication. Okay, so one is a multiplicative identity. What does that mean? It means that if you have any number whatsoever, it can be a positive integer, it can be a negative integer. Okay, and you just multiply it with a 1, that's going to be the same. It's going to be the same thing. Okay, so if I want to make this, if I want to make 625 into negative, what will I do? Can you tell me?
Multiplied minus 1.
Yes. So I will say 625 multiplied by minus 1 is equal to negative 625. So always remember this thing right here. Just a sec. Okay. Yeah. So always remember this, that if you have any number, like over here, what did we have? We had negative 2. So what you can do is you can say, well, this whole thing, this can be rewritten as 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by negative 1. Okay, why? Because of the multiplicative identity wala property. That is, negative 2 can be written as this. Is that clear, Hiba?
Yeah.
Okay, just remember this part. If you want, you can take a screenshot of this.
Okay.
Okay. So now can you try this question? This one?
But how do we have to write the 625?
Okay.
Minus 625.
You see these two things. Okay, these are two different terms. This is one term, this is the other term. What is, how do we know what is a term and what isn't? Basically, if any two phrases, if any these two are separated with a plus sign, right? So this part and this part and this part, they are both supposed to be added with each other. So if there's, if there's supposed to be added with each other or subtracted, then this is one term and then this is the other term. So don't get too much into that. Even if you didn't understand that, it's fine. Let's just move straight to the question. You're asking, what do I do over here? So what is common in both of them? On one hand, you have 625 plus, I'm sorry, multiplied by negative 35. So now can you tell me, if you use the multiplicative identity on negative 35, what will it become? Remember this.
Positive 35.
No. It's negative 35. What can you write negative 35 as? If you want to separate the negative from the 35. How can you separate?
Multiplied by positive 1.
Okay, see. Hiba, it's negative 35. Can I write this as negative 1 multiplied by 35? Can I write it like that?
No.
You can't. Why not?
Because the answer will be negative 35.
Hiba, so that's what I'm asking. I'm asking, how can you rewrite it? Negative 35. Okay, you have the number negative 35. I'm asking you to separate the negative sign from the 35 without changing the value of the mathematical expression that we have in front of us. So can we do this if we want to separate the negative and the 35?
Yeah.
Why? Because see, this is negative 35, है ना? So just a minute. I'm saying that these two are equal. So negative 35 is on this side also. And if you multiply this, you take this. What is this giving you?
Negative 35.
Yes. So this is also negative 35 only, right? So the value isn't changing. We're not doing anything wrong with it. We are just separating both of them. And basically what happens is like just the same thing that I told you over here, right? If you have negative 1 multiplied by 35, that is nothing but negative 35, right? So that's what I have done. How do you get anything negative? So if I say, how did you get negative 70? You multiplied negative 1 with 70. Okay. So if I ask you, how do you get negative 43? What will you say? How do you get negative 43?
By multiplying it by negative 1.
No.
Sorry.
Not multiplying it. You multiply 43 with negative 1. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. When you're saying multiplying it with negative 1, it means this. If you multiply negative 43 by negative 1, it gives you 43, right? So we're not going into that. When you multiply 43 with negative 1, it gives you negative 43. So now, can you tell me how do I separate? So why do we need to separate the signs over here? Because Hiba, you can see that over here there's a negative sign, and in this expression the negative sign is transferred to, it is shifted to minus 625. So what we need to do is basically we need to shift this negative sign over to 625. We need to say, well, Mr. 35, can you please give me your negative, and so that I can shift it to 625, because that's not going to really make a difference in your value, right? It's the same thing what we did over here. Remember, we just borrowed this negative sign and we just gave it off to 2, and it's not changing our value. Why it's not changing our value? Because of this reason, the reason of the hidden negative 1. And what you are doing is using commutative property over here. Okay, in this expression you're using commutative property, and this negative 1, can it be shifted to combine with the 2? Can it be shifted over there in that position due to commutative property? Okay. So what I'm doing is I am taking the negative 1 and multiplying it with the 2. Okay. I'm saying, well, you both be together. And then this 3, I'm leaving it as it is. So that is how I am getting my negative 2. This is my negative 2. And multiplying that with 3, I get negative 6. So this is the same thing as this. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So now can you give a shot to this question again? Remember, what we need to do is just shift the negative sign so that the 625 has it, and we take it away from the 35. Why are we doing that? Because in this part of the question, the negative sign is on 625. Understood, Heba?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So what will we do now? So we wrote the 625 as it is. Next.
We will multiply 625 by minus 1.
No, we will that will come in the next step. Okay, right now tell me, what should I do with my 35 negative 35? What should I do with this?
Multiply it by minus 35.
Okay,
Multiply it by 625.
okay. What I'm going to do now, Heba, is I'm going to separate the negative sign from the 35. Okay, so this is going to be my step. All right, how will I do that? I will take away the negative sign from the 35. So that will be, I will say minus 1 multiplied by 35. Okay, done?
Yeah.
All right. Now I will say plus, and then I will copy down the rest of it. In fact, what I will do is I will actually, yeah, I'll just copy it down as it is. So that's negative 625 multiplied by 65. Okay, done?
Yeah.
Now take a look at this. I'm only going to make changes in this part of the question. So what I'm going to do is now take a look at whether A multiplied by B multiplied by C. Is it going to be the same as B multiplied by A multiplied by C?
Yeah.
Yes. Which
Yeah.
property is this?
Commutative.
Yes, very good. Okay. So that is what I'm going to do. I am going to shift the position of -1 and send it to the left. Okay. So that the 625 comes in between and 35 remains at its place. So I am not doing anything. I'm just, this remains at its place. I'm just swapping the positions of these two things. Okay.
Okay.
Just swapping the positions. That's what we can do, right? As you just told me that we can do this by commutative property. So now can you tell me what this thing will become?
66.
I'm swapping the positions.
Minus
Yes.
625.
First, -1. Okay. -1.
Okay.
Oh,
Multiplied
yes. Multiplied by
625.
625. Then multiplied by
35.
multiplied by 35. Very good. So then the rest of it, I'm just going to copy it down as it is. -625 multiplied by 35. Okay. Now comes the part that you were saying. Now tell me, what is this going to become?
Minus 625.
Yes, multiplied by 35, right?
Yeah.
And then the rest of it as it is, -625
Multiplied 65. Multiplied by 65.
multiplied by 65. Okay, this also I'll put in bracket. Can you tell me what is common between these two terms? Like there's this brown term and there's this black term.
Minus 625 multiplied by 35 plus 65.
Very good. But you also have to mention the bracket, right?
Bracket.
So now mentioning the bracket, can you repeat the same thing?
Yeah, wait. My screen is lagging. Minus 625 multiplied open bracket 35
Yes.
35 plus 65 close bracket.
Very good. MashaAllah. Okay. So now can you tell me what this will become? Just a minute. Just a minute. Let me just move the whole thing up a little bit. It's taking too much space. Yeah. Okay. So now we have space. Continue.
That is going to be 2275
Okay. So just a minute. This is -625 as it is, right?
Yeah.
And
Multiply
what is this equal to?
multiplies 2275.
Hiba, I didn't understand what you said. Hiba, let's go step by step. Or rather, first tell me, what have you written? After this step, what have you written?
Minus 625 multiplied by 2275.
Okay. Hiba, what is 35 plus 65?
sorry, I accidentally
multiplied them, right? Yeah, so that was a tiny mistake, right? So you have to add them. And why do we have to add them? Yeah, exactly.
Because of the plus sign.
Plus sign, very good, very good. Because of this plus sign, this plus sign, this plus sign. Okay, all right.
So instead of 2,275, it's going to be 100.
100, very good. I like the way you present your answers. It's very technical and to the point. Okay, it makes it very easy for the teacher also to understand what you are saying. Okay, so now what is the answer going to be?
Minus 600, sorry, minus 62500.
Very good. Okay, so this is our answer. If you want, you can take a screenshot of this. If you haven't done it in your notebook, if you've done it in your notebook, well and good. Then just let me know. We can move forward.
The second question also I have a doubt.
Okay, you have a doubt. So tell me.
What is minus 1 multiplied a?
Yes, what is a is any number. Okay, now tell me what is this going to be?
I can write any number.
Sorry.
I can write any number.
Okay, so the thing is, when we are saying a, it is a variable and it can be replaced with any number, but over here what they're asking you the question in terms of a, right? So your answer should also be in terms of a. So if I say what is 1 multiplied by a, a means any number at all. So what is 1 multiplied by a? It is a itself. What is 0 multiplied by a? Hiba?
A.
0.
Sorry.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
What is negative 1 multiplied by a?
Minus a.
Very good. Excellent. Okay. Any more doubts?
No, this was the only questions.
All right. I will give you just one more question to practice this thing. Okay. One question to practice this. Let's say we have 552 multiplied by negative negative 3. No, not 3. 14 plus negative 52. Oops, 52 multiplied by yeah, 36. Okay, so you do this. Till then, I'll pray my